This is fun to play as. This is fun to play as. For this tier list, this is very subjective. Remember, this is very, very subjective. I need to move it a little bit because everybody thinks that different styles of play are fun. So we're gonna basically rank every killer from most boring to most fun. And we're gonna start off with the Trapper. Trapper, in my opinion, is probably, I put him in kind of boring. Reason being is because with Trapper, you're able to do some really fun things with his traps and you're able to like get some really satisfying moments if you're able to put people into those traps. But he's just, the fact that you have to go around the map, get his traps, set them up, and then with skill-based matchmaking, you're gonna have to deal with survivors who are communicating, and they're gonna be basically getting rid of your traps constantly. So you're basically just an M1 killer, which is kind of not very fun in my opinion. Good trappers are probably enjoy him because they know like how to play him properly. But me, I just find him too boring to even learn how to play, personally. Yeah, this is most fun to play. I could do most fun to play against in the next stream if you want. Yes, say hello to YouTube. I will probably turn this into a YouTube channel. A YouTube video. Okay, next up we have Wraith. Wraith is actually one of my favorite killers to play. He's extremely fast-paced. I'm probably gonna put him in pretty fun. He's really fast-paced, and I find that to be really fun. He has a really good variety of add-ons which add to his kit depending on how you want to play. You can do like the add-ons that make you vault really fast, and then you can add bamboozle and like other perks and get a really, really fast vault, or you can add brutal strength on top of those add-ons and break pallets really fast. It's really awesome. I enjoy Wraith a lot, but he did get nerfed recently. I think the nerf was good. A lot of people don't like playing against Wraith. Personally, I think he's one of the most well-balanced killers in the game. Yo, hello, I'm gonna be famous now. Venom, I hope you see this in the video. Hillbilly. Okay, this is gonna be very controversial. I think Hillbilly is extremely boring. Now hear me out. Hillbilly was fun. Okay, before the Hillbilly change, I would have put him probably up here. Like I probably would have put him up here. But after the Hillbilly change, I just can't play him anymore. Like I literally cannot play him anymore. It's like, it's so bad. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the overheat mechanic. I don't know if it's because I always get Larry's Memorial Institute when I choose Billy, but it's just horrible. It's horrible. There's so many indoor maps now, and you can't use Hillbilly on indoor maps. All of the new graphical updates to maps got kind of a ton of debris just all over the place, right? Hillbilly's my favorite killer. I'm so sorry, Venom. I'm so sorry. I don't find Hillbilly fun anymore. And it sucks because I used to main Hillbilly back in the day. I used to main him because I thought he was extremely fun. And now it's just, there's so much debris on every map, and then there's so many indoor maps that it's just, there's not enough good maps. He's amazingly fun to go against. This is true. Someone asked me this earlier. I said Billy was the most fun killer to play against. I actually like playing good Billies better than bad Billies. Good Billies, like the ones that can curve you, those are really, really fun. Maybe I should turn off in-game sound. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, Nurse. I gotta put her in extremely fun. Nurse is just so fun in my opinion because it's so satisfying to get a hit with her, because if you don't get a hit with her, it's extremely unsatisfying. I think it's about the mechanical skill that goes to playing as the nurse. You just feel proud of yourself every time you get a hit, you know? I don't know how to explain it. I just love playing Nurse. She's pretty strong. Of course, it's more fun to play a strong killer because you get more kills, blah, blah, blah. But even if she wasn't strong, I feel like I would still enjoy playing her a lot. Michael Myers, extremely boring. He's probably my least favorite killer to play as. Reason being is because I find his setup to be extremely slow paced, and I need really fast paced things. Like I need fast paced things. That's why I play COD instead of Battlefield. Like Blight is one of my favorite killers because he's so fast paced. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Let me just, there we go. Blight is the best killer, the most fun killer in the game, in my opinion. Anyway, back to Myers. It's just so boring. Like, I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. You just go up to someone and then you hold right click and you just stare at them. You literally just stare at them and hold right click. Michael is really outdated. Yeah, true. Michael is really outdated. That is true. I just feel like they could add so much more interactivity with him, you know? Like they could make him more stealthy. I don't know. They could just do an entire rework to make him way better. Anyway, back to Blight. Blight is by far the most fun killer in my opinion. By far. There were a couple of times when he was really boring to play as because he would literally slide off of everything and you couldn't bounce into things. It didn't feel like it was in your control when you slid off a thing versus when you actually hit something. So I did not enjoy him when that that was the thing. But now that he's pretty much fixed and now that he's taller as a killer, he's so fun. He's so fun. I think the reason I like him so much is because of how fast-paced he is. He's the fastest paced killer in the game, right? And then if you add Blighted Crow and then one of the other add-ons that makes him speed up every time he bounces, right? It makes him so fast and it's so fun. And I also just like that you kind of have to think ahead and think of where survivors are gonna go and then where you need to bump into to be able to hit them, right? I don't know. I just think he's a really fun killer. He is pretty strong. I liked him when he was extremely weak in the PTB. I still thought he was the most fun killer in the game during the PTB. It was just so awesome. And he was really bad. Like he was really in a really weak state and I still thought he was fun. So it's not just because he's good. I promise. I promise it's not just because he was good. Next up is Hag. Hag, I gotta say, is extremely fun. What app is this? This is called tiermaker.com. It's a website. Let's make a new tier below extremely boring. This is true. This is true. Hold on. Let's just okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Let me make that gray. Okay, so Hag, in my opinion, is also extremely fun because she's so fast-paced. A lot of people don't like her because she's so different and she doesn't have any chase at all, but I think she's just so fun because you have to think in a completely different way, right? Like, you're not chasing, but you're also not chasing, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain it without it sounding completely contradictory. It's a completely different playstyle. Like you have to think of where to put your traps. They have to be in populated areas. They have to be in loops. They have to be near objectives. They have to be well placed, well thought out. And then you also have to know when to teleport to your traps, when not to teleport to your traps, whether or not you should replace your trap versus going to chase someone. You know, like there's just so much you have to think about. There's so much brain power that has to go into her that I just enjoy that a lot. These are actually my three mains right here. Unfortunately, they are all strong killers, which kind of sucks because then it just seems like I enjoy playing killers that are strong. But you know, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. Like if they're strong, they're going to be more fun because you feel like you can actually do something with them, right? Whereas like Myers, a lot of people consider Myers to be one of the worst killers in the entire game. So I don't know. Hag is like amazing and fast paced, but sweaty Nias who can't live without flashlights would be a counter to true. And urban evasion gamers, true. Hag is actually very counterable. People don't realize even insta teleport hags, you can destroy an insta teleport hag. I would know because I am an insta teleport hag. It's rough. Like it's really, really rough. With Hag, you're just like, you just have to think ahead. You just really, really have to think ahead. It's mind boggling how smart you have to be to main Hag. This is true. Okay, Doctor. I'm gonna say Doctor is, I gotta go with kind of boring. Reason being is because for Doctor, I just don't really find him that interesting, you know? Because with Doctor, you're basically just shocking over and over again until you catch up to them, right? So I just don't find that very interactive. I do like the fact that you can get information and you can like slow people down with your tier 3, but I just, it doesn't play well with me. Like I don't find the fun in like continuously, you know, shocking after shock. Okay, Huntress. Huntress, I gotta go with pretty fun. Huntress is extremely fun because you can go for really cool shots. I'm really bad with her because I go for really cool shots instead of like actually like tryharding as her. I will put on barbecue and chili. I'll put on bitter murmur. I'll put on the aura concoction add-on, whatever it's called. And I will just go for cross maps and it's extremely fun and I love it. I love playing cross maps. Yeah, Huntress is awesome. I do really, really like Huntress on both sides. She's probably one of the most well-designed killers in my opinion. Huntress just going for cross maps and going for really cool shots is so good. Doctor is kind of boring because all you really do is just constantly shock. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really like him. I mean, he's okay because there is chase involved, so that kind of makes it more fun, but the chase is just kind of I really want to try Lethal Pursuer, Huntress with, what's it called? Eerie Head. That'd be awesome. Bubba. I gotta put Bubba in pretty fun. But this depends. I liked playing Bubba when he was weak too. I really enjoyed it when he was weak too. But now that he's strong, I still like playing him because it's basically the same thing. It's just he's better now. He's actually not very interactive, so it's kind of surprising that I enjoy him. But I think maybe it's just because it's just fun because you have to basically understand the survivors and how they play. So you have to keep in mind how good the survivors are. Like Bubba's all about timing. He's actually a little worse now that there's hit validation because you could get some really easy chainsaws through pallets back in the day. You can't do that anymore, but that was really fun to time. So he's a little less fun now, but it's all about timing. Like, and knowing how the survivors play, if they're really good, sometimes they'll greed pallets a lot, and that's one of your biggest strengths. But I do not camp. I do not camp as Bubba because that is so boring. I like chasing as Bubba because it's fun, unless you have a map with a lot of windows or a lot of pallets. So if you're playing on the game, that is so boring. It's actually so boring because you literally just like, you go to the next pallet, you break it with your chainsaw, go to the next pallet, break it with your chainsaw. There's like 50 pallets on that map. I swear to God. So I would say he was much more fun maybe like 6 months ago. Now he's kind of a little oppressive, I would say, for less skilled survivors, but he's actually a pretty bad killer at the upper tiers. Camping with Insidious Bubba sounds like the most boring thing ever. I swear. I hate playing Bubbas because most of them face camp. True. Yeah, I do not condone face camping as Bubba. You like Bubba? I knew I didn't trust your judgment ever since RPD. Okay, RPD is objectively bad. Okay, Freddy. I don't know where to put Freddy. Freddy was fun at first, but now he's like, I'm gonna put him in, I don't know. If you're using snares, I would put him in kind of boring. If you're using fake pallets, I would put him in decent. I always use fake pallets because it's actually really, really funny when a survivor's like they think they're safe and then they throw down a pallet and you just hit them right through it. I don't like playing Freddy's because most Freddy's use snares because snares are better. Like if you're playing Freddy and you're trying to win, use snares. But fake pallets are just really fun. But now it just kind of got old. Like when I started to play Freddy, it was kind of funny to see survivors throwing down pallets that were completely fake. I'm gonna move him to kind of boring. His kit is just very boring. Like there's not much interactivity. Actually, I'm gonna put him back up to decent because of ruined surveillance. Ruined surveillance with this killer is actually a very fun thing to do. His teleporting is the reason why he's fun. His anti-loop is really boring. You don't really do anything, right? You just kind of put down a snare or put down a pallet. But his teleporting is actually pretty fun because you can make mind games with the teleporting. You can fake teleporting while you're chasing someone, so they have to decide whether you're gonna teleport to the gen in front of them and start doubling back, or if they're gonna start running towards you so that you teleport and then they lose distance, right? Does that make sense? But also teleporting with ruined surveillance gives you information, which is really fun. So half of him is fun, half of him is extremely boring. Like his anti-loop with snares, I would put him down here. Like snares are just not fun at all. I think they're really stupid. But with pallets, if you do fake pallets, I think he's decent. Keto has no idea what he's talking about. Hold on. Playing against Freddy is probably the most boring thing ever, though, because most Freddy's VPN and it's extremely horrible. He's got long arms. Yeah, so fun fact, if you don't know, Freddy actually has the same exact hitbox for swinging. There's the same hitbox for hitting someone as every other killer in the entire game. I've explained this a couple times before, but let me pull up my trusty, hold on. Okay, so Freddy, these are his knives, right? And then let's take Oni, right? This is his little bash thing, okay? So they're obviously different lengths, right? So this ends here and this ends here. But for balancing sake, both weapons have to have the same hitbox. So it's right here. So if the survivor is within this range, they'll get hit. But because Freddy's things are so short right here, then there's a ton of blank space all the way right here. So it looks like he's hitting you from far away. Okay, Pig. Extremely boring. I don't like the pig at all. I don't like the fact that she's RNG based. I don't like the fact that her stealth, like good pigs don't use her stealth because it's so bad. The only thing I find kind of fun is her crouch, her like ambush ability. It's kind of fun at loops because it's a little bit mind gamey, but at the same time, it's just kind of, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I like pig better if you're using the 2 ambush add-ons that make her ambush faster, because then she feels a little more fast paced. But other than that, there's just not very much going with her. I also hate her animation when she hits someone. She just like wipes her, like she just goes like this kind of, unless she has the drill cosmetic when she wipes it is pretty cool, I must say. I never see pigs use ambush. Really? The fact that her entire kit is based on the head popping mechanic, I do not like it. Okay, Clown. This is actually gonna be a very controversial opinion, but I'm gonna put Clown in decent. Clown is actually kind of fun. I don't know what it is. Even playing Clown back in the day, like before his yellow bottles, I still enjoyed playing him. I think part of it is because you have to arc, like getting really cool shots when you arc your purple bottle is really fun. And also just like, he just feels very fast paced, and like throwing your bottles and being able to hit someone, you just get satisfaction with every bottle you hit. Playing against him, by far extremely boring. Playing against him is super boring. It's so horrible. Clown, in my opinion, is probably just like a more fun Freddy. The mechanic of Clown is boring, but the feeling of playing him is actually pretty fun. I don't know how to explain it. If you play Clown, you'll see what I mean. He feels fast paced and it's cool. He kind of feels like Huntress, where if you get a cool hit, it's like kind of satisfying, you know? I died to 1 because the RNG decided I couldn't get it off. Yeah, see, that's what I don't like about Pig, is like, it's just totally RNG based. Okay, Spirit. Okay, here's the thing with Spirit. I actually think her power is really interesting. I'm gonna put her in pretty fun. I haven't played her in months, unless I have like a daily or like a challenge. Reason being is because it felt super cheesy to play her, right? Because it was just so easy. Like, it was just so easy. And it didn't really take skill. But the idea of going into a separate dimension where you can't see the survivors and having to to use your hearing is so interesting of a concept. I don't know if you guys have ever played Infinite Warfare, but there was this one, I don't know what it was called. It was like an ability in Infinite Warfare where you would basically do the same exact thing. You could teleport into a different dimension and then you couldn't see any of the other people, but they couldn't see you. It's basically the same idea, and I thought it was really unique. So I really like the power. I just think she's a little too easy to use and too strong. I don't like playing against her. I haven't played against her since the update, but playing as her is actually pretty fun, even though I don't really play as her that much. This is to play as. This is to play as. This is to play as. There we go. We're gonna move this down here. We're gonna go like this. And then why is it doing that? Why did it go upside down? Hello? 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 There we go. Okay, we're gonna put that here. We're gonna put that there. All right, good, good, solid. Plus her add-on changes are fun too. True, the add-on changes actually make it sound way cooler. Like she has different things that change her kit completely. Kind of like Myers. Spirit's passive shifting used to be annoying to face, but it doesn't happen as much. True, yeah, when she are you talking about when she blinks in and out of existence, like while she's chasing you normally? That is extremely annoying. That is extremely annoying. Okay, Legion. Legion is extremely boring for me. I do not like Legion. He's fun when he's in Feral Frenzy, but then in Chase without Feral Frenzy, he's just a regular M1 killer, so it's kind of boring. I personally don't like playing Legion. I also don't have much experience on him just because I don't really find him fun to play. There's not very much interactivity at all with the survivors. Unlike Blight, where you have to like think ahead, or Hag, where you have to think ahead, or Nurse, where you have to think ahead. Are you noticing a pattern here? Yeah, so Legion is okay. He's a little more fun with the Eerie button, which allows him to break pallets when you vault over them. It's really satisfying. So that's a little more fun, but overall, I don't find him any fun at all. RPD makes my computer explode. RPD just shouldn't exist. Legion is just a worse version of Plague. True. That is actually what I was just gonna get to. There is literally no point in playing Legion over Plague. Plague, I'm gonna go with, okay, see, I haven't played Plague since the update. So originally I'd put Plague here, but that's because Plague felt really clunky to play. But with the update, it did a ton of quality of life improvements to Plague that removed all of the things I complain about. So I'm gonna put her here. I don't actually know because I haven't played her since, but I'm gonna put her here because she is pretty fun when she has her ability. However, people just aren't going to cleanse, right? So if people don't cleanse, then you don't get your ability. Then she's kind of boring. If people do cleanse, then it's kind of fun to be able to use your ability and try to like make some mind games with that. The fact that you can like wiggle your screen and hit multiple survivors is really cool. I think the most I've ever hit is 3. I've also hit 3 people with Pyramid Head, which was awesome. Okay, Ghostface. Ooh, this is rough because the meta has changed for Ghostface a lot. I would put Ghostface in decent. I like playing Ghostface for the fact that you have to like go into stealth and you have to kind of think like where to go in stealth to catch people off guard. How I used to play Ghost, which was kind of fun. Back when Thanatophobia also made your healing speeds decrease, you would play Ghostface with Thrilling Tremors for information and for slowdown, Ruin for slowdown, and then Sloppy Butcher and Thanatophobia, which was a really good combination. And then you would only use your stealth in Chase to get easy hits. And then you wouldn't use your stealth to actually get stock. Right? So I thought that was fun because you could use your stealth to make mind games in Chase versus like using your stealth to go, 99 people or whatever. I thought that was really fun. But since the Thanatophobia has changed, that's kind of changed. And now I just don't really play Ghostface anymore. Now he's kind of like just a basic M1 killer and I'm not a huge fan anymore. You can still kind of do it, but the Thanatophobia just made it way easier to do that. Like it was just, it just made him way better. Otherwise, the 99ing mechanic is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Okay, Demogorgon. Ooh, I'm going to put Demo in pretty fun. I really, really like Demo. He's extremely balanced on both sides. Demo is fun because he's also very fast-paced. I like Demo. I like the fact that you can shred. You can shred, make mind games with it. Because I basically have ADHD, I like to right-click all the time because it doesn't slow you down. You know how he goes like this when you right-click? I'll just be doing this the entire time. And then being able to teleport is also really fun. There are moments as you're playing Demo, because I mained Demo for a little bit. As you're playing Demo, you'll have games where you completely forget to use your teleports. And then you'll also have games where you're on top of your teleporting game. And those, when you get into those, like where you're really focused and you're like teleporting and making really good plays, those games are extremely fun because you feel like you're so smart. Like you feel like you're so smart. You feel like your IQ is just out of this world. It's extremely fun. And then just the shred ability is just so awesome. And the fact that you can shred through pallets is awesome because it eliminates really bad maps like RPD or the game or Midwich even. Midwich has quite a few maps or quite... quite a few pallets, especially god pallets. Demos portals can really create slowdown if the survivors prior to, yeah, true. Yeah, if you use portals for slowdown and the survivors are still using your portals, like to cleanse them, then yes. Except most good survivors wouldn't do that. That is the only problem. Oni. I'm gonna put Oni in extremely fun. Oni is so fun. He's really fast paced. He has two things. One, he has regular M1 chase, which, you know, is kind of boring depending on like what map you're on. But he also has this ability, which is just so fun. Like, it's just so fun. The fact that you're able to sprint at high speed is really fun. And then you're able to flick really fast is so fun. And then the fact that you're able to like make mind games with your ability because he doesn't run into walls. So you can like fake going left and then go right. And you're so fast that it's hard to predict which way they're going to go is extremely fun. I think Oni is one of the most well-designed killers in the game as well. I love playing against him. I love playing as him. He's just so awesome. Oni is amazing. Oni sounds really fun. I don't really like to snowball a lot though. That is the one thing that people don't like about playing against Oni is that he is designed to slug, which is not amazing. That is one thing that Onis take advantage of. Like, I run Infectious Fright for those instances, but like that's how he's designed. I mean, it's like Myers, right? Like Myers is designed to slug too because of the limited time ability. Any killer with a limited time ability is designed to slug, which kind of sucks. Then again, I think just the fact that his power has counterplay, both sides have the ability to mind game, which I think is really fun. I don't necessarily enjoy slugging that much because I feel bad for the survivors, but just the fact, like in the 1v1 scenario, I enjoy it. Deathslinger's hard because he was just changed, and now his change probably makes him really clunky. I haven't played killer since all of these big changes at all. The old Deathslinger though, I have to put in extremely fun. If this was playing against, he would be down here. But playing as, he's actually very fun. And I think part of this is because of my love for Call of Duty, or at least old Call of Duty, because he feels like a Call of Duty killer. It's like in Overwatch, how I like playing Soldier because he's like Call of Duty, right? I've always enjoyed first-person shooters, and Deathslinger just feels like a first-person shooter. The one thing I don't like about him is that his design is actually very bad. He can put the survivors into situations where they literally have zero counterplay. Like if they're at a window, you're gonna get hit no matter what you do. I think that's super stupid. So I try to go for really fun shots. Like, for example, on Dead Dog, you know the top story on the saloon, how it has little cracks, like the railing has little cracks. I try to get shots through there, which is really fun. Or on Ironworks and Misery, I actually had in my last video, I think, in the worst design killers, I had one of my clips from getting a shot through a tiny, tiny crack in Ironworks of Misery. And it was so cool. It's just so satisfying to get really cool shots. I love playing Deathslinger. I hate the fact that he can put survivors into those hit or hit scenarios, but playing as him and getting those shots and hearing the blood sound when you hit someone, when it connects, it's just so awesome. We're talking pre-nerf. Yes, I haven't played him since the nerf, and the nerf makes him sound really boring. It just makes him sound slower paced. So they nerfed him without buffing him, and he was already a bad killer. So I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. What's your main? I main Blight usually. Blight, Nurse, and Hag are my mains. It's basically like, these are the people I play the most. These are the people I play the most. Like, it's literally in order from most played to least played, probably. Like, this is probably the exact list from most played to least played. Not necessarily in the horizontal order. If it was in the horizontal order, I would probably put it, actually top row, yeah. I would probably go like this. And then I'd definitely do that. I would probably do this, not that, and then twins is just a whole separate category. Next up, we got Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head to me is decent. I'd probably put him at the top of decent. He's like borderline pretty fun. I would put him in decent because I used to love Pyramid Head. I used to absolutely love him. I don't really like him anymore just because you have to really play him to be good at him. Like you have to practice him because he's a really hard killer to master. So just because I don't play him enough means I'm really bad at him, which makes it hard to play him. But I do really like his ability. It's really fun mechanically. The only reason I like playing him is because of that booty. Pyramid Head is fun. I think it's kind of interesting that he basically blocks all of the meta perks, essentially. Like he blocks DS, he blocks borrowed time, he blocks decisive, like all of those he can completely mitigate with his power. But that's assuming that they step in your gulag juice. And that means you have to be constantly putting down your gulag juice, which feels very clunky. I'm not gonna lie. In Chase, he's pretty fun. The fact that he can avoid meta perks is really unique. I just don't like that he can tunnel really easily and camp really easily because he can hit two people at once. So he can just hold his sword down in the ground and then wait for someone to get someone out of the cage and then just swing it, right? I just hit myself in the face. That was very embarrassing. Trickster. Daddy? Sorry. No. Boring. Horrible. Horrible killer. Boring as survivor, boring as killer, in my opinion. I wouldn't put him at the bottom. I'd probably put him here, to be honest. I find Trickster to be so boring in chase because the survivors have nothing they can do. They literally have nothing they can do. They have no counterplay. And I'm like, why am I even playing this killer? If they're there, I'm just holding right click and then holding left click and there's nothing they can do. I just have to aim at them. So I'm like, there's no interaction. I'm just holding left click. You know what I mean? And he's not even a good killer. Like, he's not even a good killer, even though he's very oppressive in chase because he's slow and he has really bad map control. But just the fact that like survivors don't have anything to do. That's why I didn't like playing Spirit. That's why I didn't play Spirit all that much. I just think Spirit actually has a unique power, which is why she's up here. But if her power wasn't unique, then she would definitely be down in the extremely boring section because she's kind of the same thing where like, I'm like, why am I even playing this? The survivors don't have any options. There's just no counterplay. So I just don't find it fun. I'm one of those people who generally likes to play killers that are able to be mind gamed because I feel bad for the survivors, with the exception of Deathslinger. Because Deathslinger, you can't really mind game, which kind of sucks. I'm not a huge fan of playing the killers that are really bad outside of chase, but really good in chase, with the exception of Deathslinger. I just don't find them very fun because I just don't like that design philosophy at all. It would be fun to play Trickster with the main event. Like, his main event is pretty fun, just being able to use it. I just wish that it didn't go away after a while. Like, it'd be really cool if you got it and then you could use it whenever you want, right? Wouldn't that be kind of sick? Like, if you had a situation where there were multiple people, then I think that'd be cool. Maybe they could rework it so that when you get main event, you have it constantly, right? You have it forever, but you only have one. You only have one time to use it. Well, you can use it multiple times, but you can't like get 2 charges, right? But if you're within like 32 meters of someone on the hook, then the timer starts to go down on your charge and then you could lose it to prevent you from camping. That would be kind of cool. Okay, moving on to Nemesis. I would put Nemesis in kind of boring. Reason being, I put him at the top of kind of boring. Reason being is because he's like Deathslinger, but not satisfying. Like, he has the same uncounterability as Deathslinger, but getting a hit isn't satisfying. Like Deathslinger, if you get a shot from like 15 meters away, it feels so crisp. I don't know if that's the right word. It feels so great. It's awesome. It's so awesome. You get a giant boost of serotonin when you hit someone. With Nemesis, it's the same thing where you're not able to counter them as a survivor. So you're just hitting them like they don't have any options. I'm not a huge fan of that personally. The reason he's not an extremely boring though is because of the zombies. The zombies, although they're really stupid, they can be so funny. Like, they can actually be so funny because they're AI. And AI in a game that's already extremely broken can make this game just so stupid that it's actually really funny. I like the zombies on both sides because they're really dumb, but they're really funny because they can just face camp random people. They can like completely prevent people from being chased. So it's kind of entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Pinhead. I would say Pinhead would probably, I'm gonna pretend that twins are Pinhead just so that I can move them. Pinhead, I would say, honestly, bottom of pretty fun or top of decent. I would say top of decent just because I don't really know how to play him because I haven't played him much. Because he came out while skill-based matchmaking was out. So, you know, I don't play killer during skill-based matchmaking. I would put him here. I'm going to not put him. I'm not going to put the twins there so people don't think that I'm actually putting the twins higher than this. Pinhead is really fun because he actually requires so much skill to do well with him. He's like a pretty average killer, but he actually requires a lot of mechanical skill. He's kind of like Nurse. He's like Nurse, but harder, in my opinion. Because the fact that you have to predict where they are, he can go through walls and stuff, but then he has to chain them and he has to hit the chain, which is really hard to use. I'd say top of decent. I'd say top of decent. All right, well, here is my finalized list. I apologize if you disagree, but we all have different opinions. Blight, by far the best. Legion, I'm gonna put Myers below Legion. I'm gonna put Plague above Freddy. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is good. This is the finalized list.